Joy can be found even when you're in the trenches. Take Dr. Dolittle, for example, the whimsical, animal-loving doctor who delighted generations through books, films, and plays. What many don't know is that his creator, Hugh Lofting, first penned these stories not from the comfort of a cozy study, but from the horrifying trenches of World War I. Lofting couldn't bear to describe the horrors of war in letters to his children, so instead he sent them illustrated tales, bright, magical, and full of wonder. These stories were his way of pushing back against the darkness. He chose to overcome evil with good and to create joy where there was only despair. We each have our own trenches. Mine happens to be cancer. But like Lofting, I've found my way to bring light through my videos, my stories, and my faith. Psalm 16:11 states, "You make known to me the path of life. You fill me with joy in your presence, with eternal pleasures at your right hand." This verse has been a lifeline for me. God's presence brings joy, not just someday, but now, even in the middle of hard times. This week, I found deep, undeniable joy in celebrating my son Logan's wedding to his beautiful bride, Brianna, my new daughter-in-law. The festivities began with a heartfelt rehearsal dinner where we honored everyone who played a part in the journey. The wedding day itself was full of laughter, happy tears, and moments that will live in my heart forever. The bride, bridesmaids, and mothers started the day with hair and makeup and sweet fellowship, setting the tone for a truly beautiful ceremony. Logan and Brianna's story is one of love rekindled. They first started dating in high school as freshmen, went their separate ways, and found their way back to each other, stronger and ready to commit for life. The wedding was held at High Cliff Golf Course, the same place Steve and I were married 5 years ago. It felt so full circle, so divinely orchestrated. A dance I will never forget is the dance between my son and I. The next day, we joined the newlyweds and their wedding party for a round of golf at the same course. As we drove our golf carts, we were greeted by wild turkeys and a surprising sight, goats. Brought in to manage invasive plants, these goats had GPS collars that kept them close to home. Nature, laughter, and love were all around us. For a few precious days, cancer was not the center of my story. Joy was. And let me tell you, you too can find joy in adversity. This week's recipe was inspired by a visit to a friend's house and her generous gift of fresh vegetables straight from her garden and eggs from her chicken. With all of my sisters together, I decided to make a garden-fresh breakfast egg bake that brings everyone to the table. Start by heating 2 tablespoons of olive oil in a cast iron pan over medium heat. Add in 4 ounces of sliced wild mushrooms. I like to use maitake for their cancer-fighting properties. I buy them in bulk, freeze-dried, soak for 30 minutes to rejuvenate. 1 small onion chopped, 1 chopped purple bell pepper. This was a first for me. I had never seen a purple pepper before. 2 minced garlic cloves, or you could use 1½ teaspoons garlic powder. 1/4 teaspoon of salt or a few pinches. Pepper to taste. A big handful of fresh chopped kale, rich in antioxidants. 1 large fresh tomato chopped. I had an orange tomato and a few deep cherry tomatoes. Sauté everything until the vegetables are tender and fragrant. For a little kick, add a 1/4 teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. In a separate bowl, whisk together 8 large eggs, 1/2 cup of cottage cheese, and 1/3 cup of half and half. Spray your baking dish, spread half the sautéed veggie mixture into the bottom, pour the egg mixture over the top, then scatter the remaining vegetables across the surface. Finish it off with a cup of shredded Colby Jack cheese. Bake at 350 degrees for about 40 minutes or until it's puffed up around the edges and golden on top. Let it rest for 10 minutes before slicing and serving. It's colorful, nourishing, and full of joy, just like time spent with loved ones. No matter what trench you find yourself in, whether it's cancer, grief, stress, or loneliness, remember that joy is not only possible, it's promised. God gives us little lights, stories, family, nature, food, and faith. Cling to them, celebrate them, and maybe write your own version of Dr. Dolittle while you're at it. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to my channel to be notified of future videos released each and every Friday. Have a blessed week.